Hey! Welcome back to the Big Men on Campus. We are an hourly, purely anecdotal podcast, back at it again. And I just want to take a quick second before we get started to mention our sponsor, Lexi, for donating all of our funds. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Lexi, for your literal 2 cents. Now, today on the Big Men on Campus, as you know, we have Drew, middleman, medium-sized man. We have Turner, huge man, 6'2", towers over the rest of us. But
Super massive.
Yeah.
additionally, we have a very famous celebrity, supermassive star presence, about the size of a supernova, known for his karma on r/hip-hop heads.
Thank
We
you for
have
mentioning that.
Winston Boyd, a.k.a. $ Islands X Music.
Yes, that karma is all I'm holding on to in this life. So, I'm a star in the making, baby. Let's get it going.
Alright.
If you are so inclined, check him out on SoundCloud or Spotify or whatever else he does.
I won't be on SoundCloud anymore. So,
Oh,
Oh, yeah, bad split.
big things in the making.
Oh,
big
okay.
things coming up. Yeah.
and as we usually do, we like to start out when we have a guest, with the guest getting to take just a little segment to just talk about whatever they want at possibly me and Turner's discuss. So let's see what Winston has cracking for us today.
I hope this won't be to your disgust. I thought of this. There's a lot of things I thought about asking you guys.
Oh, he's whipped out his phone. This is
Yeah,
really good.
this is notes. No, it's really just one sentence.
Okay. you couldn't memorize it?
I thought about no, I couldn't.
Okay.
I thought about asking what you would want in your dream house, but that's kind of an overwhelming question, I feel like. So I decided on this. I'm sure you both know that I'm a huge advocate for the show Goosebumps, right?
Oh, of
yes.
course.
And I will hold firm that it is one of the most perfectly made shows. I'm being serious. People think I'm joking.
Please continue.
Look, everything that Goosebumps tries to do, it does successfully. It knows its lane. And I was watching Holes recently, and I thought the same thing. Literally,
A media classic.
yeah, I'm on IMDb constantly rating movies. And the only 10 out of 10 I've ever given is for Holes. Because it does everything so well. Every plot line wraps so perfectly. Those are just two things from my childhood that I think are just timeless. So I wanted to know what things from y'all's childhood do you think aged like fine wine today? Things that you would die on that hill to defend.
Wow, that's a big one. You want me to go? Is that what you're saying? You don't want me to tell people that, don't you? Okay, cool. Let's see. There's so many things. I have a lot of things I could choose.
What's like the ballpark we're talking here? Because I could say like apples, for instance, and those hold up from when I was a child.
Apples definitely.
Are we talking like nostalgia factor here, or like
it's whatever you feel in your soul that like people will come at me for being like Goosebumps is the greatest show of all time. No, it doesn't have to be that real. But something from your childhood that you're like, this is great. You still think it's great. I mean, apples still are great. That's a good one.
I feel like I missed the point saying
Okay.
apples though, so I'm gonna let Trevor take the lead on this one.
So imagine you're me, 11 years old, 10 years ago, not to the date.
But I can't even picture it being that successful.
I know. You're on top of the world.
Yeah.
And you get this idea. You go see what your dad's up to. He's playing Mob Wars on Facebook. And you think, oh, that seems fun. I want to play. So you create a Facebook account and you start playing. And then you're hooked for life. And that's what I want to talk about is Mob Wars.
Do you still play Mob Wars?
Check in every now and then.
Wait, really?
I've put all my money in investments, so I'm proud to report that I'm now a septillionaire.
I feel like you're getting all the money from Mob Wars because there are no other mobs to compete with at this point.
Explain Mob Wars to me.
So-
yeah, I played it, but I don't really remember.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's Mafia Wars, which is way more popular, but there's Mob Wars, which is way more fun.
I played Mafia Wars.
Yeah, see, that's
now
not good.
Yeah.
Mob Wars was where you would start a mob and you could add your Facebook friends who also played the game. So I would go on forums and find people who played the game because I was 11.
This was your chief friend making engine at the time on Facebook.
Friend making,
Not even close.
I never knew these people. I just added them to my mob and then unfriended them.
That's kind of cold.
Dang, that's mob tactics right there.
Yeah. And you would do jobs with them, and you would go after gangs that were smaller than you, and you would earn money, and you could use that money to buy them weapons, and then you could invest in stuff. So,
Like what?
like what you can invest in, or what weapons?
What? Well, either one.
You could start by like investing in like a laundering business, like literally a laundry business,
Yeah. Okay.
or at the end, I think I owned 10,000 skyscrapers.
It's Mob City right there.
And then
Why would you ever need that many skyscrapers?
I have a lot of business.
Every member of the mob needs their own.
I only had 20 members in my mob.
Every member in your mob is pissed at you because you just keep wasting their money on skyscrapers.
No, I generate revenue. I'm a septillionaire.
I'm gonna pay you guys back, but we got
No,
10
no.
skyscrapers in the making, and they're really pushing me on this one.
Each of my mobsters in the end had like 10 tanks, 10 rocket launchers, and like golden armor.
They had to have had at least 100 skyscrapers apiece.
No, dude, those were all mine.
Was your dad a part of your Mob Wars gang?
Yeah, his name was Concrete Thugalini. And I asked him, why are you calling him? And he said, because I read this thing about when mobsters would they'd take people they wanted to kill, they'd put their feet in buckets and then fill the bucket with concrete and throw them in the bottom of the lake. So I thought that was really cool.
But I think the weirder name is Thugalini. I don't know.
Yeah. I never asked him about that.
It doesn't explain the Thugalini part.
I think he just wanted the word thug and then like something Italian.
Thugalini.
Yeah. It's like pasta but criminal.
That's a great one.
In Mob Wars holds up today, is what you're telling us?
Oh no. Well,
It was supposed to be a masterpiece.
It
it's
doesn't
the
matter
same.
if it's
It's the
still
same.
there. It just matters if
it's still on Facebook. You can still play it.
can you?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. The other game on Facebook I had was the Pawn Stars game. It's still in my bookmarks. I can't figure out how to remove it. But I didn't like that one as much.
You didn't like the Pawn Stars?
I remember you telling me your dad was active on the Pawn Stars game.
No, it was Mob. He was always better than me at Mob Wars. I'm
Uh-oh.
sure he's richer than me.
So you were in the same mob or different mobs?
Well, everyone had their own mob, but you could join other people's mobs in addition to your mob.
So double crossing mobs.
Yeah.
Okay. I have my masterpiece
Let's see.
selected.
What is it?
When I was, I'm shifting on the timeline here, but I was like younger than 5, and I somehow got my hands on, I want to say Pokemon Ruby, and I was like, whoa, this is it. This is it.
Pokemon Ruby is. I think that's the one I had on Game Boy.
I didn't get into it till Emerald, unfortunately.
I had my Nintendo DS, which I received as a birthday gift. So I guess I was either 5 or 6 because I received DS from my dad on my 5th birthday. It was awesome. It came with it was cutting edge and it came with Mario 64, but that was neither here nor there. I was unfortunately unable to not be able to beat the first level on Mario 64.
I mean, wait, you were 5?
Yeah,
Well,
Okay,
I mean, that's
that's
all
fair.
that could be asked of you.
and for anyone who's even touched Mario 64, you'll know that there is more than one level. Unfortunately for me. So I was unable to experience most of the game, but got Pokemon Ruby. I was like, wow, this is the life. I'm living it. And I remember, and I had this is horrible, like the cringiest stuff like that I find like the stuff that you're young, you art projects when you were little, and you're like, oh gosh, how could I have made this? How could I have my name on this?
Oh yeah.
I made some ugly pieces.
There was a picture that I made in Mr. Carl's art class. You remember Mr. Carl?
Oh yeah,
An
how could I
art
forget?
celebrity. And
Were you? Yeah,
No, I
you were
wasn't
there. Wait, it was 4th grade, right?
I came in 7th. No. I don't think he was there. Unfortunately.
but we were supposed to draw in Mr. Carl's art class our most memorable moment thus far. And I did not grasp like this at the beginning. I did not grasp the magnitude.
The full concept.
Yeah, the full concept of this. And so while other people were like, I remember there's one where it was like, oh, my trip to Disneyland, it changed my life. And we're like 7 or 8.
Mm.
Then my picture is, here I am catching Groudon in Pokemon Blue. It's changed my life. And I still have that picture next to another picture I drew of, I think it was Zapdos and Magnemite because they were the simplest Pokemon. I still drew them poorly. But I was a huge fan.
Though.
And I was loved it. And then in middle school, everyone else hated it. And so I was like, yeah, Pokemon, cool. But then in high school and college, I was like, yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah, you were very right on the money on that.
You're reciting a meme right now.
I know, and I love that one. I feel like it explains things pretty well.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah. And I know I've voiced my gripes, some of my gripes about the most recent game, but it wasn't out of hate. It was out of love. That something I've loved all this time could deviate in any way. And now having played the game, for anyone who's been following the long-going saga of Drew and Turner playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, I did love it, and I believe that Turner loved it too.
Is that the newest one?
Yeah, Generation 8.
And I will always love Pokemon. Now that I've played it, I'll never go back on it.
What was the
I
problem
love 'em forever.
with the newest one?
They didn't include the national deck, so they only included like 400 out of like the 900 and some Pokemon there are now.
Oh,
But then they just recently announced DLC.
paid DLC?
Yes, but with whole new areas.
Instead of like making a Pokemon Emerald or like a third game, which is the DLC.
Yes,
Okay.
I do prefer the DLC to having a whole new game.
That's
so I don't have to play that shit
understandable.
again.
Yeah,
But
that's fair. I was recently talking about Nintendo and how they have not made a new IP or like a new game in so long. You know what I mean?
dude, there are some, but you're not gonna be happy with the names that I tell you right
What
now.
are they?
Well, they got ARMS on the Switch, which
the classic.
they had some really high hopes for being competitive, and it flopped. Okay, game. And then there was Splatoon, which actually got competitive, but it is also definitely a baby kids game.
Yeah.
Even though I really, really like it.
My mom had the
It's
idea.
fun.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you sir, good sir.
I was gonna say my mom had that idea to like make Call of Duty with just like paintball or paint.
Your mom had the idea for
Yeah.
Splatoon?
So she's actually suing them.
You think they stole it creatively
Yeah.
from your mom?
She also mentioned Squid People, which is a big aspect of that.
That is a huge aspect of that game.
What was your point going forward with that? I agree. There hasn't been.
I feel like they
huge
need to
IP.
make new like characters with names. I was just thinking about it because of Smash. Like
Mhm.
eventually, like they're gonna run out of people to add. You know what I mean?
Now they're just pulling from all the other games.
Yeah, they're pulling from a crazy amount of games, and I don't know what they would even do after Ultimate. But it feels like there's still all these classic characters, and then they haven't really done anything new in a minute. They just been keep making the games with the classic characters over and over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of true. Like almost like all studios. Like who are the hot new characters or new IPs? Like there are new games
true.
for sure, but like there's no new memorable characters really.
That's true. I just feel like that's Nintendo's like their shtick. Because
Yeah.
Xbox, you can do any stupid little snowboarding game or whatever. Third party
Skate 3.
people.
That's
Skate
not
3 is a
snowboarding.
classic.
Skate 3. Skate 3.
I want Skate 4 to come out so bad, but it never will.
Yeah, if we have any Microsoft executives, fans of our podcast, please make Skate 4 a reality.
We have to make Skate 4 a reality.
Yeah, that was the whole purpose of this podcast originally. To get
The
Skate
whole
4 made.
purpose was to promote Passengers, which is a great 2015 movie.
Yeah, more on,
Probably.
more on that from Sean later. A glowing review of Passengers.
Yeah, a glaring review of Passengers.
I'll say in Smash, they got the little squid in there. It doesn't really have a name. Like it's just called Inkling.
Inkling?
Yeah, and they got I would say the same thing is true with the Dragon Quest guy. It's just called Hero. That one's even bigger let down for me. And they say, oh, the hero has risen. I was
I
like,
got some things to say about Hero.
cool. Does he have a name?
Matthew's been playing Hero, and he has been pissing me off. Do you like Hero?
It's okay.
I hate him.
I hate
Oh.
Thank you. He's the most broken
Oh.
character. He's got 15 million spells. And I know if I played him, I'd be terrible. I know it'd be awful. But playing against him, it's terrible, especially against Matthew.
I don't even use his spells. I like the way his sword feels. But I feel like whenever I go into the spell bar, I just end up dying. So
Yeah, it's like reading. Like who wants to read this?
Nobody wants
yeah,
to
that's
read.
somebody
I
said I've been
can't
meaning
even
to play
read.
this game.
It's all just blurs to me, and I just click whichever one.
Now they're chatting Fire Emblem characters, which Drew hates.
I like it pretty well.
I was kidding.
Rare minority. Okay, wait. I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
I would say in recent collection, and for some reason I don't. These are the characters that get put as assist trophies in Smash. So from Arms, like I said, they got the guy. His name is Springman.
Is there a guy in Arms in Smash?
Yeah, he's an assist trophy.
Oh, just
But yeah, so that's an IP, like a new guy. But I would say like most memorable new character, not that new, but I would say Shovel Knight was like a whole new IP when it came out, and it's very very noticeable at this point. Like it made pretty big waves for being an indie developer that made that. I really like that game.
I haven't played it. Is he in there as an assist trophy?
Yeah, also a lot of people thought he was gonna get in.
Oh, Sans from
Unfortunately
Undertale.
not. That also happened.
I've been
Yeah.
playing Undertale recently.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
I have. It's a funny little
Any
game.
thoughts?
It's funny. It's hilarious, actually.
I thought it was sad, or a lot of parts made me sad.
Well, I haven't finished it, so
Spoilers, dude.
Oh.
Everyone dies.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
I had to kill. Do you have to kill the lady at the beginning?
No.
No, fuck no. Are you kidding me?
No, really. I killed the hell.
Oh my god. That's your mom.
I didn't know who it was.
Oh,
She had
okay.
horns. How could that be my mom?
Well, she's like your adopted mom.
Well,
And she's like,
dead
I will
now,
protect you.
so.
That's great.
She didn't protect me. Her house was creepy, so she
Oh,
had to
okay.
go.
Did you take her pie, at least?
Hell yeah, I took that
All
pie.
right, good.
And then I took her life.
Oh.
It was very hard. It wasn't even worth it, honestly.
Yeah, you could have just...
Not.
Yeah, you could have just not. Pretty easy in my opinion, but...
You know, it is what it is.
There's like
I live with the decisions I've made.
There's a little ghost guy that you fight, and he just lays there, and he's like, I'm sorry. I'm really not feeling up to this today. I'm like, wow, that's pretty real.
Oh, wait, is that in the first level?
Yeah,
Somewhere
it's
around
early.
Yeah, the ghost that's lying on the floor.
Like naps.
Yeah, he
Absolutely.
naps. I tried to kill him too.
Really? Are you gonna kill... Are you gonna...
No, I played pacifist after that.
Oh,
Because
okay.
Oh,
he
only
got
because you
my
pacifist
ass
after I murdered.
I mean, once you murder your mom, it's kind of a life-changing experience, don't you think?
Sure.
I haven't killed anyone since. Haven't killed Papyrus. Or I didn't kill Papyrus. We went on a date, and it was a sweet date.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, very glad.
I remember I was playing that with Turner. That was like a pre-Big Man thing. But we played it together for part of it, and we were just stuck so hard on that Papyrus fight. I don't even remember why. It was hard. I was thinking it was going to be a joke. Yeah, not funny.
Whatever
Not
that,
hilarious.
that combat system is not for me. It's not the one for me. I am terrible at it.
Well, it's like a bullet hell kind of
Yeah,
of days old.
I didn't know what you just said.
I figured you would have said yeah.
You know,
bullet hell.
so it's like you control a little dot on the screen, and there's just shit flying at you every which way.
Oh,
and
like
you just have to
Galaga.
dodge it all. Kind of like
I'm
Galaga.
also terrible at Galaga.
Yeah.
I
We
like
have the Galaga machine. Have you played the Galaga machine in our apartment?
No.
Yeah, I'm awful at that shit.
Well, sucks.
That's a tragedy.
So going off what you said earlier, I had an idea for something else I wanted to ask you
Ooh.
earlier. And so you said masterpieces that they just always hold up.
Yes.
So I pose a similar question. What is something, and I would say Pokemon for this for me too, but I have another in mind, is something that you always can go back to. What's something that, like, same thing, it never loses its appeal, but I agree, I will always like Holes and Goosebumps, but
Always.
I cannot watch those movies. I'm gonna watch that movie or show for too many time periods.
You can't watch Holes?
Not more than once at a time.
Have you tried?
Well, like, what do you mean once at a time?
Yeah, what do you? I did.
Playing it on
Watching
two screens?
TVs. I couldn't do that. Actually, I probably could do that. That way you get the story twice, so it hits you on two different layers.
Dang.
No, stuff that I like, but I wouldn't go back to.
No, something you're always up for. Like, something in, like, it may be like totally past its due. Like, I'm imagining, like, a game that you've beaten 100 times. So I guess this could work with the movie, but I feel like it's like, I guess a movie like doesn't sound as right
piece of
on
media
this.
that
Like,
I would go back to all the time.
yeah, I guess an album will work pretty well in this case too, because there's some songs I could just always listen to.
That is true. Oh, that's a big question.
I can go if you need some time to think.
Let me peruse.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
see.
The first thing that comes to mind is Halo. Yeah. Big thanks to Halo for sponsoring. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that compliment.
I just got the Master Chief Collection for Christmas, so I've been going through that. Playing the remastered
Playing
Halo 2.
Reach. Oh, Halo 2.
Halo Reach is my least favorite one.
Really?
No.
Behind Halo 4?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
I think that's the best one.
Is it because you were bad at it?
Yeah. No, I have a lot of things like this I could talk about. I have, one thing I think a lot of people do, especially at college, is The Office. Like, but I don't watch that, just sit there intently watching it. It's like, I'm on my phone. The Office.
You're there, eyes glued to the screen.
Michael, you dog.
I watched that for the first time freshman year of college.
Yeah, I think you and Ethan Howard both did that.
Yeah, it was good though.
And that's definitely just something I watch on my phone. Zaxby's and Jimmy John's. I'll never get tired of those places.
I love them from the childhood.
Yes,
they're still thriving.
Well, so is Halo. You know what?
I'll tell you what doesn't hold up.
Oh, okay.
Recently, me and David watched The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Oh no!
If you haven't seen it, don't watch it. And if you have seen it,
don't watch it again.
Yeah, no, watch it and see how dumb you were as a child.
Yeah.
Because literally the episodes were 5 minutes long. I didn't remember it being that short, but they're literally 5 minutes of just brain dead plot. It was literally unbearable.
My dad used to love watching that show with me.
Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy?
Yeah.
Maybe we just watched a bad episode.
I'm thinking, I remember specifically when we were little, there was an episode that I know we talked about in elementary school, because it was a new episode, and this is a testament to what you just said. The plot of the episode was, and I think I liked it because it was just so absurd. There is a ghost duck following Mandy.
Oh, yeah.
That whenever Mandy tries to talk, the duck goes, and Mandy is furious about this, and she has to do the announcements for that day, and the duck just makes that noise over and over.
Oh,
and this was hysterical to me when I was little. No, it made a farty noise.
Oh, yeah. Didn't it turn out to be a demon?
Something.
Those are insane.
Those are trivialities that Billy and Mandy doesn't deserve, but it was stupid. I think about it now. It's so stupid. It's frustratingly stupid that's a plot of the episode, because there wasn't even a resolution of the plot. There's just some demonic force said, Mandy, this duck is gonna make farting noises for the rest of the episode, and you're gonna get in trouble for it. No resolution whatsoever.
It's just fart duck. That's what the other one was. It was literally just a parody of Harry Potter. Where Mandy tortures the leading guy, and then it just ends. No, it's do you remember this at all? There's the Nigel Potter guy that's supposed to look like him, and then the head council guy is a frog. This frog man.
I was not a huge Billy and Mandy fan.
I wouldn't remember this either if I didn't just watch.
Oh my
gosh!
So
I don't blame you.
I really liked, and it was only because of my fan of the other series. They did a crossover with Kids Next Door. Because there's an episode where Mandy just beats the shit out of number one. And I was yeah, probably how it would go. They're actually pretty wimpy over there.
Nigel,
yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna say when you said Nigel Potter. I was like, oh, you're talking Kids Next Door.
I always hated Nigel Uno. He was my least favorite.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Something about his bald head.
Oh, I feel like he had cancer or something.
No.
The kid's bald.
People can be bald.
Kids can be bald.
Alopecia.
Why would that mean he had cancer?
I mean, he had chemo or something.
I've seen that theory a lot, but people are just bald sometimes.
Why is that a theory? They're looking so far.
Oh, okay, but
maybe I'm just denying the truth.
That show was I think it's actually even worse than the Billy and Mandy problem, because every episode felt like it was some sort of constructive growth, and it wasn't where it got ended early, like Teen Titans. It was where the end of it was very obviously cryptic, and they refused to give you a good ending. And I was like, what? What?
Yeah.
And so it was just all for nothing. At the end of it, there was a guy named Number Infinity, and
I remember
specifically, he was like, oh, like, there is more to this than you know. And then he stuck his finger up his nose, and then boogers came out, and they surrounded him, and then he just disappeared. And I was like, what the fuck was that? Why did I waste 6 seasons of watch time on that? I was so excited for the big, like, conspiracy theory ending. Because they've been hyping up the Splinter Cell the entire time. Where it's like, oh, there's a Kids Next Door Splinter Cell. And I think they revealed who it was, but then that guy was, like, secretly an alien or something, and they just never touched it. They were like, there's a kid's show. It ends.
Like, so many of the shows I loved have terrible, terrible endings.
A lot of them.
Yeah, like, Game of Thrones, How I Met Your Mother,
Ooh, both those are pretty bad.
The Office.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
The Office had some terrible seasons at the end.
Yeah,
the finale was alright, though.
Always passable, for sure, given the content.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And Dexter. I think that's probably one of the worst finales I've ever seen.
I've avoided all of those shows because I've heard the endings were terrible.
Yeah. Oh, and Lost has a bad, like, people say it's a bad ending, but I kind of like it.
I also kind of like Lost ending. I appreciated it.
Lost. One thing
it's crazy. They get lost.
I guess I don't have to watch it now.
Sorry, spoilers.
I've heard that if you didn't like Game of Thrones ending, the spiritual successor to Game of Thrones is the Camping original miniseries on HBO. Picks up right where it left off.
Camping?
Yeah, you know the show Camping?
No. That comedy, that
yeah,
weird comedy.
Critics rave about Camping. It was canceled after 1 season. It picks up right after Game of Thrones ends.
Okay.
It was canceled because they didn't have any story left to tell. They accomplished everything they needed to.
It was canceled because it was too good.
It was too good. They were going to put all the other HBO shows out of business. So HBO had to do something about that.
The show is too popular, we have to run it out of business.
The only cartoon I really like the ending for is Ed, Ed and Eddie.
How did that end?
Oh, yeah.
They beat the shit out of his brother. No, wait. His brother...
Wait, that'd be a fine ending. I love that.
His brother beats the shit out of him. Yeah, no, the brother doesn't get beat up. They're just like, you're an asshole, dude. And then Ed and Eddie are finally cool. Like, for the time being, at least. All it took was physical abuse.
What?
That's weird.
His, like, big brother, you know how the whole season...
He, like,
the whole
idolizes
series,
him.
he idolizes his big brother.
Oh, yeah.
And then his big brother, they finally meet him, and he's, like, a complete asshole. And he just, like, smacks Eddie around.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so... I don't remember if they... I think he does get beat up. I think Big Ed beats him up.
Oh, I wish I had something for him to say, but I know his voice like that.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Did you voice Big Ed?
He ran around like with his arms behind him like Sonic.
Oh.
He did. I think he, like, hits him with a door or something in true Cartoon Network fashion.
And then he says, I'm okay afterwards.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, okay. That's good, at least.
No, I used to love that show.
That show freaked me out.
Really, Ed and Eddie?
Mr. Meaty. That's the show that freaked me out.
Oh, God, that was horrible.
The tapeworm episode.
That's the only one I remember. I feel like it was the only one that ever came out.
It's the worst. I had nightmares about it.
I kind of feel like it was a fever dream.
Yeah, that's exactly the best way to
In
describe
case
it.
the audience doesn't know, Mr. Meaty was a puppet show.
Oh, I would call it a surrealist horror comedy puppet show.
It was a show literally, I think, made for no one. I don't know who the target audience was.
I think the target audience was people who deserve punishment. People who need tribulations.
They made it for prison.
For prisons as a torture method. You can watch TV, but it's only Mr. Meaty. And it's only that tapeworm.
I would be... I would not be watching TV.
I mean, I haven't seen it in years. Maybe it's funny.
I'm not. Maybe. I think I did that one time. I was like, I wonder if that holds up. Like when I was 15, and I didn't like it.
That. Well, I wonder if Mr. Meaty holds up.
Because I remember
it's about time for another go through.
No,
yeah,
I think that's
you've been thinking about it. So
you're in your 20s now. You're old enough.
That's true. But one thing I'm also old enough to do. At the Studio X with the boys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
I have a new chocolate fountain feature.
Oh.
They don't have anything to dip it with, so you just use your hands though. But it's awesome. And the meetings, professional as always. I think Winston, you were there for a meeting.
I was there for a meeting. Actually, it was very professional. We all got our chocolate fountain hands, and then we discussed business. It was a really quiet, just soothing environment.
Yeah, definitely.
They gave my business a small loan, actually. And they said they're gonna. I can pay them back whenever I want.
They're just kind people.
No,
They
so-
are really kind and caring.
Oh no, there's a chicken evacuation. We're gonna have to take care of that, but we'll be right back after this short break. Sean, take it away.
Whoa, get those chickens out of there, guys. Speaking of chickens, you guys heard about space? I love space. It's up there and it's happening. And if you scroll down past all that Trump bullshit on Google News, when you get all the way to the bottom of the page, they always got tons of stuff about space. I love the articles where they're talking about the planets that are like Earth, probably, but they don't know for sure. And we could go to them. They're like only 1 million light years away. So it won't be in our lifetime, but at some point, we'll probably be like that movie, The Passengers, where they're riding in the spaceship. That was pretty cool. And if you see any bugs, let me know. Back to the boys.
And welcome back. The chickens have evacuated the premises, but unfortunately they've damaged our audio equipment, so this episode may be a little bit abridged, unfortunately.
Yeah, they bit my finger off too, but
In the meantime, you can all check out Passengers, starring
Yeah.
Chris Pratt and
Jennifer
Citizen Kane.
Aniston.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jennifer
And
Aniston.
Citizen Kane, the Citizen Kane,
Yeah,
not Orson Welles, the character Citizen Kane.
he plays Chris Pratt. Big thank you to them for sponsoring the show, as always.
It's a
Mhm.
great movie about space and time. We weren't sure why they sponsored us since the movie has already been released for years.
Probably a accounting error, but we'll take it.
There is no Passengers too because the story just went so well that they didn't have anywhere else to take it.
I love shows like that.
But look up centrifolds or whatever.
Centripetal?
Centripetal.
Centripetal force that holds the gravity down.
Yeah, that's an interesting
That doesn't
physics
sound
concept.
right.
Yeah.
Research that in your own time.
Look
Look
up
up both and decide for yourself which one is more interesting.
Do the research. That's what we learned today.
That's the lesson of the day. Do the own research.
Do the own research.
What do you say?
Quote me on that.
Oh, okay.
We will.
Or don't. It doesn't matter to me. I have 11,000 karma.
Oh, oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can let my fans know that this is gonna happen.
All right.
You know.
Can we? You mentioned it earlier.
No,
I've been
yeah.
thinking about it in ages. I want to move back to Goosebumps.
Yes.
Okay.
This is what I wanted to talk about.
All right.
Okay. Goosebumps is the best worst show
Like,
of all time.
The whole anthology. I want to talk Goosebumps, The Haunting Hour starring Debbie Ryan,
The Haunting Hour is so
the Goosebumps
good.
movies. Like,
Goosebumps is like an empire. Literally, like,
It's got a lot of different
the
things.
Ivory Tower.
can you imagine? Just picture this: you go up to someone, any stranger, you're starting to get to know them. You say, "Do you like Goosebumps?" And they say,
And they hit you.
they say, "No, I don't really like Goosebumps." Like,
And you hit them.
isn't it kind of like, oh, fuck that guy? It's a red flag. It's a glaring red flag.
Okay.
Do you remember any of
They've hit all
Goosebumps?
personal
I
relationships.
remember the Creeps one and the one where they were like
The
chased by a
Common
spider.
Creeps.
There was some very. Oh, I remember we watched the Ant episode with Camden.
Oh, that
and
was
he-
good.
He left
Oh,
in
I
like
remember.
a nightmarish fear. He was like, I don't want to see any ants anymore,
We
man.
should tell this story. So it's like October, what, 29th? It was like near Halloween.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was alone in my house chilling.
Ooh, that's
Well,
scary
wait,
right
this
there.
may have been 2 different nights. I don't think you were there the first time, right? Or
I
were you?
watched it with you, so maybe I don't remember.
It was just
Camden
me,
being
you,
there,
and
so-
Camden watching
Okay,
it with.
yeah.
I'm at my house. It's 11 p.m. I'm a junior in high school, chilling. I don't even know what I was doing. I don't know. I was still up. I had
Perhaps
school
watching
in the morning.
Passengers?
Yeah, I was up watching Passengers. Now on DVD and Blu-ray and on Amazon. And I get a call from this guy that went to our high school, Camden, and from Drew.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We're outside your house. Let's watch Goosebumps right now." I was like, "It's 11 p.m. I'm not gonna let you in my house."
And
they're
you'll
like-
be surprised what happens.
I bet you'll never guess where this story is gonna go. I was like, "My mom won't let me." And you were like, "Ask your mom." So I was like, "No, I'm not gonna ask my mom. Get out, please. Don't come here." And you're like, "We're gonna ring the doorbell if you don't ask your mom for us to come over." And I was like, "You know what? I bet y'all don't even know which house I live in, because they were in my neighborhood. I live in a big neighborhood." And they didn't. They were circling around. They're like, "Tell us which house you're at." I'm like, "No." So I decided.
In an act of pure fool.
In an act of pure stupidity, I peeked through the window.
I remember Camden, he caught a glimpse of me. He was like, hey, there he is.
I heard it on the phone say, "I see him in the window." And I could see my stupid, my dumbass, like, eye peeking through. I could just picture you all seeing it. So I had to go to my mom, because y'all literally walked up to the door. And I was like, "Mom, can these two people come inside? Can Drew and Camden come in?" And she's like, "I guess so." But then we watched The Haunting Hour. If you haven't seen The Haunting Hour by R.L. Stine, it is good. It's a good show.
It's like actually good.
And, like, the plots are actually pretty deep.
I'll hand it to The Haunting Hour.
And they end pretty bad for everyone involved.
Yeah.
And we watched one episode.
Oh, for the characters, like
did we watch? Yeah,
narrative
characters
designs
always
of
have
The one with the mascot suit is the one we're always talking about.
Yeah, but the
Big
real
yellow.
cursed one is the pumpkin head one. Have you?
Oh, I think I've watched that one.
These kids all go to a pumpkin patch on Halloween. Long story short, the patch is like the farmer is growing heads.
I do remember this.
He cuts the kids' heads
Was
off
that not
and
a
turns
Goosebumps
them into
episode?
pumpkins. You're thinking of the Alien Goosebumps pumpkin
okay.
episode, which is the best Goosebumps episode.
All right.
And it was just so disturbing to see that kid's head at the end turn into a pumpkin in the grove, because he cut the main character's head off, and then the episode just ends. It was pretty awful, and Camden thought so too, because he was scared to drive home that night.
I thought we watched the ants one was the one that scared him.
Oh, we watched Awesome Ants. That's the greatest, I think, episode of anything of all time.
I think the ending just bewildered me.
Yeah.
The ending was like it was like real scary.
Yeah,
like
this kid
not like Goosebumps usually is like
It's
wow,
chilling.
like that's uncomfortable.
This kid gets this ant cage, and then the ants grow big because his dumbass decides to feed them hot dogs. Why you would feed an ant hot dogs?
He gets awesome ants from the company Awesome Ants. And It
Yeah.
says in bold print on the thing. He says like there's one caveat here. Only feed them what they're supposed to be fed in the desired proportions. And
There's literally one rule.
kid says hot dog time. And he just feeds the ants hot dogs.
And of course they grow big and get insane. And they take over the whole city, and he's about to get eaten by an ant, and then he wakes up.
It's an all dream thing.
Yeah, it's like an 18-wheeler sized ant.
Yeah, but then he wakes up, it's a dream. He pours his cereal. What does he see? Ant pellets. And he figures out that he is his real world is one where ants watch humans in cages. And like, he dreamt that he was watching ants in cages.
I never processed it that way. Oh my gosh, it's even worse
Yeah.
now.
What did you think of that?
I always thought that it was like that he actually did that, and then he was like trying to shake it off. He's like, oh, that was just a dream. And then he wakes up, he's like, oh.
No, that was, yeah.
But then I agree with you now, because there was that teacher who was his teacher in the dream, and he was like, oh, hey, like, you're the teacher that was doing the ant project. You're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, ants rule us. And he's like, oh?
Like, it goes with my possible theory that when we die, we wake up and ants rule over the world.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any evidence for that?
awesome ants.
Okay.
And I
That's a
think
good one.
there's a scene in Passengers that's pretty similar.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you'll just have
Now
to watch
available
it
on
to find
Blu-ray,
out.
DVD, and Amazon.
Like at the start of that scene, I was dying laughing. At the end of that scene, I was dying crying.
Yeah, I was
It
dying, literally.
That's.
It's just such an emotional toll.
I mean, there's Chris Pratt, Jennifer Aniston, and the dying person. They just all three. The synergy is just so awesome.
Goosebumps also great for his comedy though.
It is.
Some hilarious moments, like stuff that will never not be funny to me. There's a family going to the carnival. You know this one, and they're on an alien or they're on like a monster game show.
Oh my
And
gosh!
They're like the monsters are like, human family, you could win a free car. And then the kids are like, Dad, I don't know if we want to do this. They're monsters and this is their game show. I think we should just go home. And the mom goes, kids, it's a free car. And the dad goes,
That's what it sounds. We rewrite. I can't say
it was
words.
intensely
Rewinded
viewed.
it, yeah, at least 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
And it got better every time, actually. It didn't get worse. You think it would, but it truthfully got better.
That's a rare thing in a show.
Yeah, and no Academy Awards still for that guy.
What a snub.
Biggest snub since Uncut Gems.
Well, we
honestly.
do say that, but the awards are tonight as we're
Yeah,
recording this,
yeah.
so we'll let you know. if
We'll
they
see.
win.
We'll keep an eye
Yeah.
out. We know how they like to pick their sleeper picks, and I think he's in the running.
So you liked Uncut Gems?
I haven't
Telling
seen
me?
it.
Oh,
I want to. Is it good?
it was good, but it was like it was like a haunting hour episode where it like ends and it's like
Peril.
not okay. Like
Yeah, I
not
kind
just
of
peril, it was just like not an unsatisfying ending, but it's like, oh gosh, that's what happened to that guy.
I don't like watching intense movies in theaters because eventually I'll be like, okay, I need to take
Yeah.
a breather from this. So I've been waiting to watch Joker
I need to see Joker.
and Uncut Gems in the comfort of my own home.
One movie I'm glad I watched in the comfort of my own home was Marriage Story.
That movie is beautiful.
It's really good.
It was so
but, like,
good.
It made me.
First of all, I wouldn't want to watch that with my parents for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I told my mom to watch that, but like I was like maybe
Maybe
not
not.
watch it with Dad.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys would feel about that.
Oh my god. It was Adam Driver did not deserve this meme that's been placed upon him.
I know.
He did a bad job of punching a hole in a wall, but other than that, he was really, really good. He was the star of that.
It was such a real argument. I felt like.
I thought
for
in the
sure.
context the argument worked perfectly.
Yeah.
I even thought the hole in the wall was well done to his character. The only thing Scarlett Johansson says one line really weird to me in that argument.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, really? You ruined my life," in like this really strange way. But other than that,
Yeah.
it just
I think it was good watching it at home because I watched it with my friend Jonathan from Minnesota, and being able to talk about that movie while it was going on, I feel like was like I would have been uncomfortable if I hadn't been able to express something about it while I was watching it.
it's gutting.
It really is.
Scene with him on the Halloween, that killed me.
What, you see the end?
She takes over his Halloween in the middle.
Oh.
And then he just has that shitty Halloween. The kid starts to hate him.
That was really upsetting. How the kid was
The
like,
kid was a little asshole.
I really started to feel like I feel bad for feeling empathy for Adam Driver's character more.
But
than
that's what
Scarlett Johansson.
it's based on the director's like real
Yeah.
they
divorce.
showed
So
you.
of course he wanted to
I
make
feel like
it
they
fun.
showed you his process more than they showed Scarlett Johansson's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
He
I
did
don't
cheat on
blame-
her. Spoiler.
yeah. Whoa, dude, come on.
I feel like that's a pretty minor.
he only
detail.
did it once, dude.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like pretty blatantly cheated on her.
And he was famous, so it didn't even really count,
Yeah.
according to him. No, but the director actually cheated on his wife. It was like the same exact situation. So I can see how you would write to your own like truth.
That makes me just never want to like date or marry a writer.
Yeah. It really does.
That's.
It do be like
And
that.
the ending was good.
The ending was
beautiful.
good.
Satisfying ending.
Yeah.
It's probably, have you seen Honey Boy with Shia LaBeouf?
No.
Oh,
No.
please watch that.
Probably
It's
not as good as Holes.
It wasn't as good as Holes, but
Unfortunately.
I mean, it's pretty much impossible to be as good as Holes.
Mhm.
That's a whole other discussion. One of these days, I feel like we gotta set up a video camera and watch Goosebumps. We're gonna watch Goosebumps and commentate it. That's my dream.
The Goosebumps
That would be.
podcast.
We could just live stream it Twitch.
We could do that. Goosebumps is just something you have to see live to really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's also just watching it with other people.
Yeah.
Goosebumps commentary is.
Goosebumps commentary
Somebody
is
always
unmatched.
notices something.
Yeah.
We could also just do like we used to and try to find 1-star movies on Netflix.
Oh, what is that one we watched?
Dark Space.
That's a whole can of
Oh my
worms.
gosh.
Space Chimps.
The house. Well, there's that one that was actually
The houses that
terrified
November
me.
built.
That
House
yeah,
October
that one
built.
terrified
October
me.
Oh.
That one was scary as hell.
The ending didn't make sense, but it was terrifying.
I know. It was meaningless, the whole thing, but it was
It was
scary.
good and scary. Yeah.
When they saw the 50 clowns,
Yeah,
Just a clown horde appears.
this isn't gonna make any sense.
yeah. It's a horror movie where they have to go around to different haunted houses, and they're trying to find the scariest haunted house, and they get more and more obsessed with this for some reason.
The house is called like the Blue October or something.
Yeah.
It's
It's in New Orleans.
Blue skeleton.
the Blue
Blue
Skeleton.
Skeleton.
It's pretty much just like a treasure hunt.
But they do find it. They definitely find the scariest hotel. No,
Haunted house.
haunted house.
the
Yeah.
scariest
Maybe
hotel.
they find the scariest
Hotel Mario.
Ghoulish hotel service.
They'll talk about that in the houses that December built, the sequel.
Yeah, I've been hoping for a sequel for a long, long time.
It's the critically acclaimed 1-star movie.
Yeah.
Well, there's much more I want to talk about, but
Yeah.
I have to be on a tight schedule to get more karma
Yeah.
All
and to
right.
watch Passages.
I think
Some more wires are giving out from the
so you
chicken.
could be a returning guest. I feel like there's more to talk about
Dude,
here.
we got more. We didn't get to touch Spy Kids 3.
Oh,
Of course. Okay.
I gotta get to Studio X actually. They
All
are
right,
expecting
Turner,
me.
Take
There's
us,
been a leak in the water, the chocolate fountain.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Turner, take us home.
Well, we learned a lot. We talked about some of the things that made us who we are as children that we continue to love today. And maybe after you review this podcast, just think about what'll make you who you are tomorrow. That's a good thought.
That's deep.
And when you're thinking about who you'll be tomorrow, make sure that's a person who's seen Passengers on Blu-ray and DVD now. And big thank you to Studio X, their new chocolate fountain, and Lexi for her 2 cents.
Wait at least a day. We gotta fix the chocolate fountain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I leave with one last final note?
And a final note from our guest.
Here's the final note. In a world of Adam Drivers and Scarlett Johansson's, be a Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence.
Amen.
All right.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Love you guys.